Welcome back, students. Today we are going to start a new topic, and it is direct and inverse proportion. Sometimes we call it as direct and inverse variation also. So today I am going to start with direct proportion. Suppose you go to a shop to buy few pens. Now you chose 5 pens for yourself, and now the shopkeeper claims that those 5 pens, they cost rupees 100. Now suppose you increase the number of pens that you are buying from 5. You now you want to buy 8 pens. Obviously you have to pay more money. If you want to buy few more pens, then you have to pay more money. Means if there are two quantities, like the number of pens that you are buying and the money that you are paying, they are two different quantities. But when one increases, the other also increase. When the number of pens that you are buying increases, then the money that you are paying also increase. And if the number of pens that you are buying, it is reduced, then the money you are paying is also reduced. So if there are two quantities, say x and y, and they are related in such a manner that when x increases, y also increase, or when x decreases, y also decrease, then it is said that x and y are in direct variation or direct proportion. In day-to-day life, we see lot of examples of direct variation. For example, I can give you one more example. Suppose you want to go to a different city using your car, and now if there the two quantities are distance covered by your car, that is the first quantity, and the petrol that is required for that, or whatever petrol is filled in your petrol tank, in the petrol tank of your car, it is the second quantity. Now if the distance covered is more, you need more petrol. If the distance covered is less, you need less petrol. That means the kilometer covered and the petrol that we require, these two quantities, again they are in direct proportion. Okay, so let x and y are two quantities such that y increases when x increase, or y decreases when x decrease, then x and y are said to be in direct proportion. So whenever you encounter a problem, you have to see whether the two quantities that are in consideration, they are in direct variation or they are in inverse variation or inverse proportion. Inverse proportion I will tell you later. First of all, Now suppose as it is given that x and y are two quantities and they are in direct proportion. So this is x, this is y. Now when the value of x is equal to x1, then the value of y is equal to y1. When the value of x is x2, then the value of y is equal to y2. And when the value of x is x3, then the value of y is y3. Now, if they are in direct proportion, then x1 upon y1 is equal to x2 upon y2 is equal to x3 upon y3. If x and y are in direct proportion, then x1 upon y1 is equal to x2 upon y2 is equal to x3 upon y3. You must remember this thing. Whenever two quantities are in direct proportion, then x1 upon y1 will be equal to x2 upon y2 will be equal to x3 upon y3. Now all the questions based on this direct proportion will solve using this only. Clear? So we'll start the questions. The first question, the cost of 5 meter of cloth is rupees 210. Find the cost of 2 meter, 4 meter, 10 meter and 13 meter of the same cloth. Find the cost of 2 meter, 4 meter, 10 meter and 13 meter of the same cloth. Now you see, again there are two quantities. Here the first quantity is the length of the cloth that you are going to buy, and the second quantity is the cost. Now it's very clear, if you want less amount of cloth, you have to pay less money. If you want a longer length of the cloth, you have to pay more money. That means the two quantities x and y, that is the cost, that is the length of the cloth, and the cost, they are in direct proportion. So we will write as length of the cloth and the cost are in direct proportion. So you just make a table like this. Length of cloth, cost of cloth, now when the length is 5 meter, then the cost is 210. Now when the length is 2 meter, 4 meter, 10 meter and 13 meter, cost you say y1, y2, y3, y4, like this. Okay, these are the costs. So we have written y1, y2, y3, y4. Now as I have already mentioned that they are in direct proportion, so using the formula for direct proportion we can say 5 upon 210 is equal to 2 upon y1 is equal to 4 upon y2 is equal to 10 upon y3 is equal to 13 upon y. Clear? This by this is equal to and so on. Now if you take first and second and you cross multiply, 5y1 is equal to 2 into 210. So y1 will be equal to 420 upon 5, that is 84. So rupees 84 will be the cost of 2 meters of cloth. Rupees 84 will be the cost of 2 meters of cloth. Now if you equate the first and the third, 5 upon 210 is equal to 4 upon y2. Once again cross multiply. So 5y2 is equal to 4 into 210, that is y2 is equal to 840 upon 5, 168 rupees 168. Okay, so the cost of 4 meter will be rupees 168. Okay, now you equate the first and the first and fourth, means 5 upon 210 is equal to 10 upon y3. Again cross multiply. 5 by 3 is equal to 2100. So y3 will be equal to 2100 upon 5, that is rupees 420. Okay, so the cost of 10 meters is rupees 420. And now you equate the first and the last or the fifth, means 5 upon 210 is equal to 13 upon y4. Once again you cross multiply. 5 by 4 is equal to 13 into 210. So y4 is equal to 13 into 210 upon 5. Now you multiply 42 and 13. Rupees 546. Okay. 13 into 42 is rupees 546. So this is the answer to the last part, that is the cost of 13 meters of cloth. Clear? Now the next question. A pole 14 meter high casts a shadow of 10 meters. Find the height of a tree. Find the height of a tree that casts a shadow of 15 meters in similar conditions. A pole 14 meter high casts a shadow of 10 meter. Then find the height of a tree that casts a shadow of 15 meters in the similar conditions. Now there are two quantities here. The first is the length of the pole or the tree, and the second quantity is the length of the shadow. Now you know, longer the higher the tree or higher the pole, longer will be the shadow. So that means they are in direct proportion. If the length of the pole is more, then the length of the shadow will also be more, and if the length of the pole is less, then the length of the shadow will also be less. So they are in direct proportion. As height of the pole and the length of the shadow are in direct proportion. So first of all you make a table. Length of pole, height of pole x, length of shadow y. Now it is given that a pole 14 meter high, so this is 14, length of the shadow is 10. Now you have to find this x1, length of the shadow is 15 meter. Okay, they have given that the length of the shadow is 15 meter. Now as I have told you that they are in direct proportion, so we can say 14 upon 10 is equal to x1 upon 15. If you cross multiply like this, so x1 will be equal to 14 into 15 upon 10. You cancel it by 5, then 7, 21 meter is your answer. So the height of the tree will be 21 meter. That is the answer. Clear? So you can see in each and every question, if the quantities are in direct proportion, then we apply the same method. Clear? Now the next question. Next question is, if the weight of 12 sheets of thick paper is 40 gram, how many sheets of same paper would weigh 2.5 kg? Now see, again there are two quantities. The first quantity is number of papers and the second quantity is weight of those papers. Now it's very obvious, if more number of papers are there, the weight will be more. If less number of papers are there, weight will be less. That means the two quantities that we are discussing here, they are in direct proportion. So as number of sheets and weight of sheets are in direct proportion, so number of sheets weight of sheets initially how many sheets were there? It's 12 sheets, and what was the weight? 40 gram. Now we have to find the number of sheets, that means we have to find x1, and the weight they are given 2.5 kg. 2.5 kg means 2500 gram, because as this is in gram, this should also be in grams, so we'll write 2500, because 1 kg is 1000 gram, you know that. Now as I have already mentioned that they are in direct proportion, so 12 upon 40 will be equal to x1 upon 2500. So 40 into x1 is equal to 12 into 2500. So x1 is equal to 12 into 2500 upon 40. 250 into 3 is 750 is your answer. So how many sheets are there? The number of sheets will be 750. 750 sheets are there. Clear? Now the next question. Next question is, a train is moving at a uniform speed of 75 kilometer per hour. Now the first part, how far will it travel in 20 minutes? Second part, find the time required to cover a distance of 250 kilometers. Now here the two correct quantities are the distance covered by the train, and the second quantity is the time taken. Now you see, if the train covers less distance, then less time will be taken. If the train covers more distance, then more time will be taken. That means these two quantities, that is the distance covered by the train and the time taken by the train, they are in direct proportion. So as the distance covered and the time taken are in direct proportion, so first of all, I'll make this table. Distance covered time taken now you see initially the speed is given 75 km per hour, means the time taken to cover 75 km is 1 hour. So here distance covered is 75 km and the time taken they have given 1 hour, but I'll write 60 minutes. I have converted the time in minutes because this time is given in minutes. Now the distance covered, here you write down x1 and the time they have given 20 minutes. Then the distance covered is given, for the second part the distance covered is given 250 and here you have to find the time taken, so y2. Okay, now first of all, as I have already mentioned that they are in direct proportion, so 75 by 60 is equal to x1 upon 20 is equal to 250 upon y2. So when you equate the first and the second, 75 by 60 is equal to x1 upon 20. So 60 into x1 is equal to 75 into 20 is 1500. So x1 is equal to 1500 upon 60. So x1 is 25 kilometers. So in 20 minutes, the distance covered by the train will be 25 kilometers. Now you equate the first and the last, or the first and the third. 75 by 60 is equal to 250 upon y2. So 75 into y2 is equal to 15000. So y2 is equal to 15000 upon 75. 200. This is the time taken. So it is 200 minutes. 200 minutes means as 60 minutes is 1 hour. So it is 3 hour 20 minutes. 3 hour 20 minutes. That is your answer. Okay. So the time taken to cover 250 kilometers will be 3 hours and 20 minutes. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next question. Next question, the scale of a map is one is to 3 crores. 2 cities are 4 centimeters apart on the map. Find the actual distance between them. Find the actual distance between them. find the actual distance between them. Now here the two quantities are, the first one distance on the map, second one actual distance. Now you see, if the distance on the map is more, then the actual distance will be more. If the distance on the map is less, then the actual distance is also less. That means the two quantities here are in direct proportion. So as the distance on the map and the actual distance, as the distance on the map and the actual distance are in direct proportion. So actual distance is y, now see, when the distance on the map is 1 centimeter, then the distance, actual distance will be 3 crore. Now when the distance on the map is 4 centimeter, what would be the actual distance? So now what we do, as they are in direct proportion, 1 upon 3 crore if you cross multiply, but this answer, as this 1:3 crore, this is in centimeters, so this is also in centimeters, so this answer is also in centimeters. So this distance centimeters we will convert it into kilometers. So how? 4 into, it is in centimeters, when you divide it by 100 it will be converted into meters, and then you divide it by 1000, so it will be converted into kilometers. One two zero zero kilometers is your answer. So if the distance on the map is 4 centimeters, then the actual distance between the two cities will be 1200 kilometers. Clear? Now the next question. A machine in a soft drink factory fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. So how many bottles will it fill in 5 hours. So here the two countries, the two quantities are the number of bottles filled and the time taken. So obviously, if less number of bottles are there, the time taken will be less. If more number of bottles are there, then the time taken will be more. So the two quantities here are in direct proportion. As number of bottles filled and time taken are in direct proportion. So initially you see the number of bottles filled was 840 and the time taken was 6 hours. Now the time taken will be 5 hours and you have to find the number of bottles filled. So as I have already told you that they are in direct proportion, so we'll write 840 upon 6 is equal to x1 upon 5. Cross multiply. X1 is equal to so 700 bottles is your answer. The answer is 700 bottles. So the machine will fill 700 bottles in 5 hours. Clear? That is your answer. So now the next question. Next question is, suppose 2 kg of sugar contains 9 into 10 to the power 6 crystals. How many sugar crystals are there in 5 kg sugar, 1.2 kg sugar? So here we are talking about the weight of sugar and the number of sugar crystals. So again you can see, less the weight of sugar, less will be the number of sugar crystals. More is the weight, more will be the number of sugar crystals. That means the two quantities are here in direct proportion. So as weight of sugar and the number of crystals are in direct proportion, show weight of sugar number of crystals see, initially the weight was 2 kg and the number of crystals 9 into 10 to the power 6. Then the weight is 5 kg and then the weight is 1.2 kg and you have to find the number of sugar crystals. So as I have told you that they are in direct proportion, so 2 upon 9 into 10 to the power 6 is equal to 5 upon y1 is equal to 1.2 upon y2. Okay. First of all, you equate the first and the second. Y1 will be equal to 45 into 10 to the power 6 upon 2. So 2.25 into 10 to the power 7 is your answer. 2.25 into 10 to the power 7 will be the number of sugar crystals. And now you equate the first and the third. Once again cross multiply. So y2 will be equal to 5.4 into 10 to the power 6 is your answer. So I hope this direct proportion or the direct variation is clear to you. So in the next class we'll start with the inverse proportion and do all the sums given in your assignment. Thank you.